One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides onto wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he paves his way. Oh, legend in the making, day by day.
We have all magically made it into a thirsty Thursday morning. Good to see everybody. We have all survived halfway through the week. Great to see everybody in the chat, man. Listen, we have quite a big morning that we're going to be discussing today. As you guys do know, it is the government shutdown day 37, as it is 11/6/2025, and air traffic slashed by 10%, as well as Trump to meet with Asian leaders and more. And the and more is a great thing that we've got going on. We have Nancy Pelosi that just retired, or just announced her retirement from Congress, which is phenomenal. But we have a lot we're going to be talking about. So yesterday, Rubio hosted a foreign ministers from Central Asia. So we're going to be watching a little bit of that this morning. And then we have, from late yesterday evening, former pilot on flight reductions during this shutdown. And then, as you guys know about the whole UPS plane that went down in a freaking crazy fireball, we have some updated video of this. It says Louisville plane crash, raw footage captures moment UPS cargo flight crashes after takeoff. And so there's some new evidence that is coming out about it. And then last night as well, Bronx car explosion, multiple firefighters injured, cause unknown. So a car fire and apparent explosion erupted Wednesday evening in the Bronx, according to police. Emergency crews responded to the scene after receiving a call just after 7 p.m. local time in New York. Firefighters worked to extinguish the blaze, which reportedly involved a vehicle that caught on fire and exploded. At least 7 firefighters sustained injuries while battling the flames. The cause of the explosion remains under investigation. Wow. This morning, now this is going into this morning, Russia, North Korea renew nuclear testing plans after Trump remarks. That's definitely very interesting. Just talking about us testing has sparked some, the kind of like the race of testing, right? Then we have an hour ago, breaking news, Nancy Pelosi announces retirement from Congress. W's. All right, before we get into it, make sure you guys hit the like button. It helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. If you guys are brand new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button because it's also free. But here comes the money part, you know what I mean? Please consider becoming a member, starting only at $2.99 a month. We're making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is what allows us to keep these lights on as well as be on these airwaves. So I very much appreciate you guys becoming members and staying members, man. But a little side note here, follow my Instagram at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking news, It's a great way to get a hold of me one-on-one. We also have a Discord server for everybody. Make sure you guys go into the link down the description box down below of any live video, and we have that invite for you guys. We have like 98% of you guys in there. Let's get the rest of the 2% in there. And last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted membership signups are all going to be presented live onto the show and shouted out. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, then we have these platforms that you guys can donate to at any time during the show, and I will read it out loud like it as if it is a super chat. I have my email up, so if anything comes through, I will see it right away. All right, ladies and gentlemen, great to see everybody in the chat, man. Thank you guys so much for being here. We got Steve Easy as well as a Gorillapus. We got TVT. Yes, sir. So long. Yeah, no kidding, bro. I got you. We got Mountain Woman as well. Let's see. We got Joseph over there on the Facebook side of things. Absolutely stop capping, bro.
Stop the cap.
Great to see you in the chat, man. Up there in Canada. Unapologetic American, good morning, kind sir. Great to see you in the chat as well. We got Josephus on the ball, on the mic. Mike Ball. Yes, sir. We are on the ball, dude. Mike is never late. I try not to be late ever. You know, there has been a few times where I was like going to the bathroom kind of thing. You know what I mean? And I was like a minute late. But when it comes down to what I do, I try to be here 30 seconds early, like hitting the go live 30 seconds early every day. That's what I aim for. We got Rabbit of Chaos. Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat as well. And let's see here. We got Bree Rodriguez in the chat. Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat as well. We got a raid from Motobomb. Let's go, bro. Sterling, my man. Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat. We got Rob's neighbor, Carrie. Great to see you in the chat this morning. Always appreciate you as well. We got Chris Lestrange over there in South Africa. My man, good morning. Or good afternoon to you. We got Gary as well. Good morning. Good morning. We're scrolling our way down. We're trying to make sure we're catching up. We got Papa D. Yes, sir. Great to see you in the chat, my man. Yeah, Russia. No kidding, bro. Let's see. We are running it back down. We got a Gorillapus. Shit, absolutely. Money me, money now. That is true. You know what? Let's just go ahead.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
True. That is true. And that's right. Hit the like and the sub, and as well as share out the stream. Let's hit the goal, man. I appreciate you guys. We got Stevie's coming in with the 22 fucking months. Holy shit. And he is right. He says, if you ain't first, you're last. And you are the the leader, okay, of the membership program. You are the number one. So that is true. Great to see you in the chat, man. Always appreciate you and your contributions as well. We got Justin Blum over there on the Facebook side. Great to see you, kind sir. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far, your Thirsty Thursday. We got Brendan Smith. Good morning, good morning. All right, we're getting right into it. And Steve Posey, my man. Good morning to you as well. All right, let's get right into it. We have, right here, we have Rubio, hosts foreign ministers from Central Asia. Now, this is not very long, okay? This is actually fairly short, so we're going to go ahead and see what is being said as of yesterday, and we'll talk about it.
Thank you. Welcome to the State Department and to our, we don't get to use these spaces very much, especially when the government's shut down, so they could open it. But it's great. It's an honor to host all of you here, and tomorrow as well. We're going to have great events, and thank you for those kind introductions. Sergio is right. The president does say, and it's a great honor to hear him say it, he says that I was born for this job. The problem is I have 3 jobs. I don't know which one he's referring to. So I think maybe he thinks I'm a good archivist, Doc. But in any event, it's an honor to be able to serve in this position, and it's an exciting time. I want to make a couple of recognitions. First, I do want to thank Ambassador Gore and Deputy Secretary Landau for the trip they took last week. It was important. They spent a substantial amount of time, and I know they look forward to going back to the other countries they were not able to visit. I personally intend to visit in the coming year as well.
Get your phone out of the fucking camera view, bruh.
And
look at that shit.
All 5. So I know it'll probably be a week-long or longer trip, so we got to work on that and make that happen together. I want to give a shout-out.
It's in the back of the head.
Special recognition to a couple people. Jim Risch, who is still here, is the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee. But Jim and I served together throughout my 14 years and 1 month in the Senate, and we wound up, for reasons I don't fully understand, we wound up literally sitting next to each other on 3 separate committees. And the floor. So people, you know, it wasn't by alphabetical order, and but we wound up getting very close and remained that way. And I know he's been.
Yeah, you know, I did find that out after I got her, by the way. After I got her, I realized how fucking rare she was, actually. Yeah, so she's a long hair female orange cat, which is even rarer on the long hair thing, which I was like, I didn't know any of that shit. We got Tootie Bug in the building as well. It's painted on. Great to see you in the chat, by the way.
Very helpful in getting us here to get all these positions filled. And I've seen him, I haven't seen him, I've seen you 3 times today, in the morning in the White House, and then earlier today in a briefing, and now here. And one more person I want to recognize, and this is someone that's been talking to me about Central Asia now for almost 4 years or 3 years, and that's Senator Daines. Are you still here? There. How many times have you been to the region? And how often? You've been more than once. I thought he was just trying to score hunting trips. That's what.
So is this just like him just like greasing up these fucking guys like the whole time, or what?
When your national interests and our national interests are aligned, when they're not aligned, that's where you need diplomacy, you need friendships and so forth. But when they're aligned, that's where we have to pursue those partnerships and create these ties, these deep ties. And I think they're aligned in so many ways. And they don't have to be aligned on every issue, but they're aligned on important ones, including economic development. From our perspective, we are looking for opportunities for American innovation and American business and American products to expand to more markets and more places, because we think that creates stronger ties between countries. From your perspective, you are looking to take the resources, both your people and natural resources, that God has blessed your nations with, and turn them into responsible development.
What's up, sick bastard? Shit.
That allow you to diversify your economies. You don't just want to be a source of energy or a source of minerals. You want to use that responsibly to build out other sectors of your economies, so that you provide long-term opportunities for your people.
Yeah, no fucking kidding. This is nothing that I haven't heard a million times over. We're moving on. I thought there was going to be a little bit more than that, but I guess not. All right, former pilot on flight reductions during the shutdown. Let's go ahead and bring this up. This was as of yesterday. Let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit here.
I'm Austin Westfall. Welcome back. A live look at the U.S. Capitol on this Wednesday evening, approaching 8:30 in the nation's capital. Of course, one of the main stories we've been tracking amid this government shutdown are the ripple effects being felt throughout the aviation industry. Getting some reporting in today from the U.S. Transportation Department. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy saying earlier today that he would order 10% of flights at 40 major U.S. airports to be cut starting Friday, unless a deal to end the federal government shutdown is reached. We see Fox 4 Dallas, a major hub for flights, saying the reduction in flights at some of the country's biggest airports is indeed a result of staffing shortages amid the ongoing shutdown. The shutdown is now in its 36th day. It's the longest in U.S. history. It's forced 13,000 air traffic controllers and 50,000 Transportation Security Administration agents to work completely without pay. They'll get back paid once the government's funded, but not being paid for now. This, of course, has worsened staff shortages. It's causing widespread flight delays, and it's extending lines at airport security screenings as well. We heard from Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy briefly earlier today. Let's play this.
Our sole role is to make sure that we keep this airspace as safe as possible. The administrator is going to talk about all of the tools we're going to deploy. One of them, though, is going to be that there is going to be a 10% reduction in capacity at 40 of our locations. The administrator is going to tell you that this is data-based. This is not based on what airline travels, has more flights out of what location. This is about where is the pressure and how do we alleviate the pressure.
That was Duffy earlier today, back out live, where we've got a quad box of some of the nation's busiest airports, including Hartsfield-Jackson in Atlanta, the busiest in the world. A little bit of a sunset going on over there at LAX, St. Louis's airport, and then Philly's airport on this Wednesday evening. Standing by to discuss this is Mike Caulfield. He's an aviation expert and former pilot. I got to ask you, Mike, if we see a 10% cut,
which is what we're seeing right now. As you guys see on the title, air traffic slashed by 10%.
Would be the immediate and short-term operational impacts on airlines, passengers, and air traffic controllers at those hubs?
Right.
What's up, 2-4? Good morning.
What he said was, Austin, that he's going to reduce 10% at the 40 facilities, which that means at the 40 air center control centers. So the country's divided up into these 40 centers, and they divide the whole airspace of the country into these 40 spaces. The problem occurs is that once they go into 7 days, the controllers can only work so many hours, right? And if they have limited numbers of controllers, then once they get to that 7th-day hit, even guys and gals who are willing to work are going to be limited based on their time availability. So he's got to look at the access to controllers, and then he's going to go look at traffic. In other words, at 3 o'clock in the morning in Memphis Center, he needs lots of controllers because FedEx is running one of the largest hubs in the world at 3 o'clock in the morning. But at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, he doesn't need that many controllers working in Memphis. And the other problem that they're going to have.
So we're not only going to be, I really didn't think about that with the regards of air traffic control, aside from tourism and people traveling, but that goes for our packages, our deliveries, all that stuff. So, you know, if you need to order something, you may want to order with knowing that it's going to take a little bit longer to get to you, you know.
Having this on the controller side is that they can't swap controllers around, because once it's based on your performance level.
Well, the kind of what the number that they're talking about into regards of what you're talking about here, Sterling, is the 61st day. That is the 61st day is when we start seeing some major changes and some permanent.
To get to a larger facility. So they can't take somebody who's working the tower, the air traffic control tower.
What's up, Tommy?
West Florida.
Good morning.
And put them in the Newark tower or the Newark Tracom.
You know, what are the safety implications of staffing shortages at air traffic control and screening agencies? And I think really what's on a lot of people's minds is, at what point do delays or cuts become a safety risk versus convenience disruption?
Yeah, great question, Austin. So I think what's going to happen is they're going to see. First of all, let me say this: the pilots aren't going to operate if it's not safe, right? So I'm not going to go out and get my airplane and move out to a runway knowing that I don't have a departure.
What's up, Brother Glare? Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat. Happy Thirsty Thursday.
Controller or a center controller to allow me to work with them to move to my destination, right? So the pilots are going to be involved in that way. The airlines are going to come back and say, okay, they're going to ask Duffy, my guest tonight, they're asking, the op centers are asking Duffy, okay, we want to see the analytics of what you're going to cut on Friday. And so they're going back in and they're now having to look at.
My man Wolfheim, all the way across the world. Good evening, kind sir, or good early evening to you.
Their priority is international flights, period. And second is hub to hub. So the people that are really going to suffer are the people in Grand Rapids, Michigan, the people in Chattanooga, Tennessee, the people in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
You know, one other facet of this is the reduction. Of course, if this happens on Friday, we need to be.
You know, I guess I never really thought about it, Sterling, but it totally could be replaced by AI and probably done more efficiently and for a cheaper cost too, probably. Sadly.
Incredibly specific.
But I do find it interesting, like the air traffic controllers and all of this stuff like that. They're employees of the government rather than it being privatized, which I thought it should have been privatized in the first place, not ran by the feds. I don't get that.
Transportation Secretary Duffy says this will only happen if the shutdown continues into Friday. There's no telling where things will stand on Friday. But if there was a reduction of 1,800 flights and some 268,000 seats, how does that affect airline schedules? How does it affect connectivity between regions? How does it impact cargo and business travel reliability in the States?
The airlines are asking that same question tonight.
Yeah.
Right. They're exactly. So you're right on target.
Shit. He's like, oh man.
Yeah, and I don't have any doubt. I haven't talked to the secretary this evening or this afternoon yet, but they're looking. The airlines are looking and saying, please tell us where you're going to reduce, and then we'll try to work with you. And then they're going to have an issue relative to TSA. The TSA folks are not going to sit by and continue to move passengers knowing that there's a reduction on the air traffic control side. And that's going to be something that's going to affect people also.
One thing that...
That's a very interesting observation there as well, Sterling, saying Microsoft Flight Simulator already has AI air traffic control. That's interesting.
We hope many of these airlines have are contingency plans. What kind of contingency plans do airlines and airports have in place to mitigate or adapt to large-scale disruptions?
Yeah. So
great question.
I can tell you about, I know that the top three have what they have is they have a computer that's AI driven that they can go in and say, okay.
And so they do have a fucking AI driven computer ready to go or something.
Bruh. Where do we move our planes today, tomorrow, and the next day? How do we move customers to the best of our ability with a 10% reduction in these markets?
What's up, Tiffany? Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat as well.
Now, like I said, they're going to concentrate on international travel because that's where, one, they're moving the biggest jets. They're also moving the biggest revenue, right? And so, and they want to make sure that they can move those airplanes that way. And the crews on those flights are longer trip lengths and cycles, so they can make sure that those folks, hopefully in 7 days, they're also on an hourly structure that within 7 days they can get those guys and gals back into work at the same time. But the airlines are going to be looking at a crew movement. How do I handle customer service? One of the things that I found that
I'm sure it's going to be pretty rough with customers.
It's difficult, and I'm sure you have too. Is
public
is they try to run customer service into their apps. Well, apps are great, but I've always liked to hear a person, right?
Yeah, I'm with you on that, but we don't need to hear any more about it. All right, we're going to move on into speaking of planes. We have an update. I guess there's some video that we haven't seen yet, and they're presenting it regards to the UPS plane that we reviewed yesterday and we talked about yesterday. So let's go ahead and bring this up and see what we have to see here. I do remember seeing this image. Now, look how crazy this is. This plane is about to go down. You can see what's happening here. Look at that. Oh, and then lands right on its side, as you guys already know. We already saw this video. But I want to see the other video that they got in here. Yeah, me too, Steve. For sure. I think this video has it. Here we go. Here's another one. That shit is so hardcore, bro. It's like the apocalypse. Wow.
Corre para atrás, papi, viste, te lo estoy diciendo.
Wow.
Ay, pinga.
Ay, Dios mío.
Pero qué pinga es. Vamos a ver.
Papi,
La chingada.
cuidado.
Espérate.
Ay, Dios mío, señor.
Pinga hacer.
Ay.
Cojones.
Mira la cantidad de gente cogiendo candela.
What's up, brother Lee? Be good out there. Make sure you drive safe. Always appreciate you.
No, es pinga. Dios santo.
Papi, lo vimos todo, mi amor.
Man, everyone's speaking Spanish over there, huh?
No, va la pinga hacer.
Ay,
What's up,
déjame,
GB?
no te vayas.
Good
¿Cómo
morning.
que no te vayas? Tú no sabes qué pinga más puede explotar ahí. Vámonos echando. Mira, si eso sigue explotando.
Here comes another one. Oh, that's with the engine on fire already as it's leaving the strip or the landing air, whatever. Oh my God. What a chaotic thing to witness. That's so crazy. Holy shit, man.
What in the
Super
hell
sad.
happened at the airport? I'm in St. Matthews. Look at this. Holy shit.
Yeah. Holy shit is right.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Fire. That is something.
Yep, it was fully loaded of fuel motobomb. That's right.
What is that?
Ooh, what is on fire over here in Louisville? And it stinks out here too.
And
What
it
is that?
stinks out here. That has nothing to do with your fucking plane that just crashed. That has to do with Louisville. I do agree with the sentiment here, Steve. Can we ban high-pitched women screams, please? Yo, we got Pitbull over there on the Facebook side of things. Good morning, kind sir. Great to see you. Or actually, good afternoon to you over there in the UK. SNS, good morning. Yes, that's the one I presented yesterday, Steve Easy. That's the one I presented yesterday. He was in his truck, and you can actually see him, like, he's sitting in his truck, and the camera's on him and on outside. And he did exactly react the exact same way I think anybody else would. What's up, Miss Lotus? Good morning to you. Great to see you. Crystal as well. This is why I keep my feet, yeah, exactly, firmly on the ground. I get you. AU as well. Shit. Well, this has been brutal. These are before and after pictures they're showing of the situation. Here's before. Wait, hold on. And after. That's before and after on that. That's before, after. Man. That's just terrible. What misery. All right, we're moving on. Speaking of explosions, last night, there was a Bronx car explosion. Multiple firefighters injured, cause unknown. These firefighters were responding to a car fire. And then as they were taking it out, there were 7 firefighters. It says at least 7 firefighters sustained injuries while battling the flames because I think it exploded on them, kind of thing. So let's go ahead and bring this up and we'll talk about it. This happened last night.
Okay, we are getting some word of some breaking news in New York City. The Post has this. They say 6 firefighters. We just heard a press briefing from the New York Police Department. They say
Yeah, I
They've
heard
now
that.
confirmed 7
Tiffany, that's funny.
firefighter injuries. So that's why the banner in the lower part of your screen says 7. Multiple firefighters being injured after an apparent explosion happening earlier this evening in New York City. Fox 5 New York coming online with their 10 p.m. news just moments ago. Let's play out the top of their newscast.
I gotta agree with that too. If anybody is screaming high pitch, it sucks.
They have some video.
And very gay.
Why are you gay?
You are gay.
From the scene, they talked to some witnesses. Let's listen into what they know, and then we'll listen into the latest press conference after we listen into some of their coverage.
Breaking news tonight, 6 firefighters hurt in a car explosion. Welcome to the 10 o'clock news. I'm Natasha Verma.
And I'm Steve Lacey. Let's get right out to Linda Schmidt live outside Jacoby.
That was not just a gas tank or some shit. There's got to be something in there that exploded like that. I got to see that image again.
After we listen into some of their coverage.
Breaking news tonight, 6 firefighters hurt in a car explosion.
That was huge.
Welcome to the 10 o'clock news. I'm Natasha Verma.
And I'm Steve Lacey. Let's get right out to Linda Schmidt live outside Jacoby Hospital.
Yeah, there was something definitely more than just fuel in that car. Because if you have ever seen a car explosion, meaning where it gets to the gas tank and then it pops, it's not that dramatic. It's actually anticlimactic. You know what I mean? You kind of expect it to do more than what it did. But that ordeal right there was something planted in that motherfucker.
An update on their condition is expected at any moment. Linda.
That's right there, Steve and Natasha. Well, first of all, over my shoulders here, you can see the door going in, the sliding glass doors going into the hospital where the FDNY is going to be holding a press conference momentarily. But this is what I know so far. We'll be going in there to find out more information, but this is what I know so far. 6 firefighters were injured in this car fire explosion. I'm being told at this point they are going to be okay. But how it started was a garbage fire. This was in a neighborhood. Garbage fire spread to the car. The car exploded. Well, we have video of that explosion, and you can hear the explosion. Take a listen.
Damn, bro.
I mean, that is wild. You can.
That's fucking crazy.
Hear people screaming as the car is exploding and the fire engines, the sirens coming in. This all happened about 7 o'clock tonight on Westchester Avenue at Intervale Avenue in Kelly Street. That is in the Longwood section of the Bronx. Now, fire marshals are on the scene. They are investigating. And an FDNY hazmat unit was also brought in. And then take a look at this video right here. You can see one of the firefighters on a stretcher. Again, 6 of them were injured. And again, I am being told they are all expected.
But the update is now at least 7 is the update now.
To be okay. Now, witnesses to this, you could hear them screaming on that video there. They just could not believe what they were seeing.
When I came out, I heard a boom. I heard like a big flash.
Tell it, bro. Tell it.
I just seen all the smoke in the air right here, and then a fire. It just looked crazy.
All the kids started shouting. We got the window, and then when we saw the 2 cars, both the garbage was in flames. And then there was a big explosion.
Even if, like, okay, there was something obviously more than just gasoline in the car, whether it be propane tanks, whether it be C4, whether it be any of these things, whatever the case is, could be explosives, whatever. It's like, well, what's the motive here? Who's the target? You know what I mean? That's what I kind of question. You know, it's like, why did they park it at this business and why did they explode it when they did? You know? How did it catch on fire? Did you guys just roll up and it was just on fire and you guys just started putting it out and then everyone got fucked up?
And then like all the trees caught fire and everything.
And again, that news conference expected to start momentarily here, FDNY, inside Jacoby Hospital. We're heading in there right now. We will bring you the very latest at 10:30. We will be live with you again at that time. Back inside to you.
All right, Linda, thank you so much. Well, a wrinkle in holiday travel, the FAA announcing.
So I wanted to listen into the beginning of their newscast because they, as you saw, share some pretty stunning images coming from that explosion, a massive blast happening out there. They had 6 firefighters injured throughout their reporting. We later
at least 7 now.
7 injured. Thankfully, none of the injuries life-threatening. This was the press conference just wrapped up moments ago. Let's play this out.
Good evening. I'm John Esposito. I'm the chief of department.
I am definitely interested in this.
ESPOSITO.
Why are you so low?
All set? Good. All right. So shortly after 7 o'clock tonight in the Bronx, we were receiving phone calls for a fire at various intersections at Fox and Westchester, Fox and 165.
Is half his face paralyzed? I think that's what's happened here. Yeah.
The eventual address was 955 Westchester Avenue. Our units arrived to a fire in some outside rubbish and some cars. Shortly after we arrived and started to operate, there was some sort of explosion on the scene. injured 7 firefighters, 5 of them with burns to the hands and the face. 3 of them are being admitted. The burns are considered serious but not life-threatening. The members, our firefighters are...
Oh, shit. Real quick. Man. Shit. We got my man Lee Lance coming in hot with the $2 on the Cash App for the dues, saying much love, honor, respect, OG, my man. Making this shit rain. I very much appreciate it.
Awake, alert, and speaking.
Dues paid.
But they have some serious burns, and we'll be obviously praying for them. Quick action by our emergency medical service. They were transported here to Jacoby, and great work by our Jacoby Hospital emergency folks and in the trauma and burn center, praying and hoping.
That's pretty interesting, unapologetic American.
That our
I'll look into it.
Are going to be okay. So I'll pass it to Dr. Tepperman from Jacoby.
Thank you, Chief Esposito. The firefighters we expect will all recover. I was just telling the chief that I'll be worried until they're all home. But
that's the actual doctor coming out and talking. Shit.
They'll recover from their injuries. I would say one thing, though, Chief. I was talking to each of your members. You know, a wall of fire came on them and surrounded them. And what they were concerned about is their colleagues and their families. And there is a reason why
when has doctors dressed up in the whole shit become politicians?
Oh shit! Oh shit! You folks as New York's bravest.
That's great and all, but just tell us the facts, bro.
Thank you. Did you say it's funny man? Yeah, it's Tepperman. Tepperman. Sheldon.
Anyone have questions?
Sir, I just got here. What's live outside? Can you give us a breakdown of what exactly happened here?
So we arrived at a fire in front of 955 Westchester Avenue. There was a lot of garbage and debris on the sidewalk. That was on fire. There were a couple of cars on fire.
What's up, Dark Soul? Good morning to you, and happy Thirsty Thursday as well.
Shortly after we arrived on the scene, there was some sort of explosion, a large fireball, and it injured 7 of our firefighters. 5 of them received serious burns to the hands and face.
Damn. To the hands and face, even. Fuck. That's terrible. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Russia, North Korea renew nuclear testing plans after Trump remarks. That is very interesting. We're going to go ahead and talk about that. If you guys didn't check out the episode we did on the Diamond Effect last night, in particular, we're talking about should we be using, testing these nuclear weapons. And from the research that I looked up after really digging into it, there was only cons to it except for proof of concept. Like, hey, it shows that this is what we're doing, kind of thing. Sometimes it's better to not do something. I have learned that. Sometimes it's better to do nothing.
All right, you're watching live now. I'm Austin Westfall. Take a look at this. Bill Stewart has this from Reuters.
What's up, Prez? Good morning.
Vladimir Putin on Wednesday ordering his top officials to draft proposals on possible nuclear weapons testing after U.S. President Donald Trump said last week that the U.S. would resume such tests. Putin saying that Russia has always strictly adhered to its obligations under the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, but that if the United States or any nuclear power tested such a weapon, then Russia would do so too. Retired Marine intelligence officer, national security analyst, and host of the Strat podcast.
Hey, he's updated his background. Oh, is he at a hotel or something?
Hal Kempfer standing by to discuss this.
Hal Kempfer, he's awesome. He's on a better setup today.
You and I were talking about the U.S. announcement when it took place.
He's on a better webcam. Oh, wait. I think this is AI background. I can't really tell.
U.S. saying that it wanted to be on par with Russia and China. Does what we're hearing today change the calculus from our previous discussion?
Austin, it really just has evened it out rhetorically, if you will. Russia's saying, well, we're going to look at starting our nuclear testing again. And of course, part of that was the president was basically saying that China was covertly or secretly testing nuclear weapons. I'm not quite sure how you can secretly test a nuclear weapon. That's there's ways we can pick up on stuff like that. So anyway, China has denied it. Russia says they weren't doing it. More recently, North Korea was doing it, but he said they're looking at doing this. Now, I've look today, and there's a, and it's the same thing I already knew, which is it'd be very difficult for Russia to possibly renew its nuclear weapons testing capability, just like it'd be very difficult for us to do that. We mothballed all those sites. They're no longer operational. It would take a very, very long time to do it. And then you look at the environmental implications of that, and there's some speculation, well, they could do above ground tests. I don't think anybody's talking.
It's pretty hard to get away with anything above ground where people and intelligence, people talk, and those are people within that know what's going on, let alone if any of the public gets wind of it. Of course, they pull out their phones, start recording shit.
Talking about doing above ground tests, those have huge, well, pardon the expression, huge fallout.
Like everything is monitored nowadays by everybody at all times.
If you will, if they do that, which literally is huge fallout. And so nobody's talking about doing that sort of thing, but it sounds like rhetorically we're starting to
I don't know the answer to that, Steve Posey.
see this matching of
I don't know
what's
why
going on.
I didn't
And then,
hear
of
that.
course,
I didn't hear it was half mast today, so that's interesting.
there's reports elsewhere, is China looking at building a nuclear test site, underground nuclear test site? And there's some places that they've looked at. They say, well, they could be building a deep underground facility and boring, deep holes where they could actually do underground tests and stuff like that. So it's really a lot of speculation right now. And maybe what spurred President Trump to say that was he was looking at some of this intelligence of what could happen or what might happen.
Sure.
And decided to say, okay, well, we're going to get ready to do the same thing. That could be part of the thinking behind his statement. But what it's done is it's kind of ratcheted a back and forth rhetoric between various capitals.
So why haven't entities like the U.S. and Moscow tested their nuclear weapons in decades? Is it because of the environmental reasons? Something else?
That's pretty much it. It's mostly the environmental reasons. When we were doing it, we were doing above ground tests. Well, first we were doing above ground tests. We literally
they're doing it for Dick Cheney. Got it.
did not understand the implications. And then there were various radioactive substances, I think strontium 90 and some other things that were getting into the upper atmosphere and the stratosphere. And eventually stuff was showing up in milk and things like that, basic products, because, radioactive materials fall everywhere with some of those blasts. And some of those blasts were just amazing, 50 megatons, things like that. It just put so much stuff in the upper atmosphere that it was literally causing radioactive impact all around the world. So they stopped that in the early 60s. Everybody agreed that.
Wow. And then the last time that the United States has done any type of testing is in 1992. Very interesting. But we're going to move on because we're going to try to get the Trump remarks this morning in because he spoke, he's supposed to be speaking. As soon as we started the live is when he's supposed to be speaking. And I do have the live stream kind of queued up to go ahead and figure it out. And we'll watch it together. But we're going to watch Nancy Pelosi first announces retirement from Congress. That's a big W for America. Thank God. All right, let's go ahead and bring this up. One sec. And here we go.
We continue to follow breaking news that Representative Nancy Pelosi, the former Speaker of the House, has announced that she will not.
Oh, as per usual, Trump is late, by the way. He hasn't started yet.
Not seek re-election after decades in Congress.
39 minutes late, as per usual.
From Fox News sharing that breaking news. And I also wanted to share this, a live look on the left-hand side of your screen of San Francisco, the area that Representative Nancy Pelosi has represented.
It says it's been rescheduled to 11:30, and so that was 9 minutes ago. Okay.
For quite some time. And on the right-hand side, the Capitol Hill, where she has been Speaker of the House as well. Democrat Representative Nancy Pelosi announcing this morning that she will retire from Congress. She is 85 years old. She was
85 years old. Good riddance. We got 13 in the building. Shout out to my man. Great to see you in the chat.
First elected to the House in 1987, making history as the first woman to serve as Speaker of the House, which is a role that she held twice during her 38 years in Congress.
38 years. I mean, it's like Biden. How long was Biden in Congress for? What? Wasn't he in government for like 47 years or something fucking crazy?
Not to run next year opens the door for new Democratic voices to seek her San Francisco House seat. So she did make that announcement earlier this morning, ending speculation that one of the most powerful women in American politics.
Powerful women in politics. Are there powerful women in politics? Or is it just a radical left agenda that just is bought up and ate up by the idiots?
Would seek another term. So she made that announcement on social media. And her announcement comes after Californians voted to redraw the state's congressional maps, a move that could add as many as 5 Democratic-held seats to Congress to counter Texas Republicans' move to redraw their own maps at President Trump's request. She did make that social media announcement earlier this morning, truly moments ago, and I did want to play that out for you right now.
Dear San Francisco.
Oh boy. Oh boy, this is just gonna be... Shit.
We are
What's up, Hardwire? Good morning.
The most beautiful, remarkable place on earth.
What's up, chatting with Stacks? Good morning.
But the true magic of San Francisco, the San Franciscans.
Oh my God. She makes me cringe, legitimately. It's so fake.
There's a reason why our city has always been synonymous with the future.
Oh my goodness.
We don't fear the future, we forge it. From the gold rush to the miracles of science and technology, our city has always been the cradle of innovation.
And you weren't a part of any of that innovation. Correct.
Buzzing with optimism and creativity. We are a vibrant and diverse city, home to hardworking families, diligent students, and heroic veterans, and the dreams of entrepreneurs and immigrants. From Chinatown to Japantown, from the Mission to the Fillmore, from Hunters Point to the Castro, North Beach to the Sunset. We are also resilient, experiencing more than our fair share of challenges. When the Loma Prieta
Yes, by the way, Agrippas.
earthquake struck, we brought in federal
It's always been the same fake bullshit.
support that ensured we would not just recover, but reimagine the South of Market neighborhood. And of course, HIV/AIDS tested our city to its core. But out of our agony came action. Under the leadership of UCSF and San Francisco General.
What's up, Kratom? Good morning.
We pioneered comprehensive community-based care, prevention, and research. That very system served as a model as we wrote the Ryan White Care Act, which still ensures access to life-saving medical care nationwide. Fittingly, our city is home to the National AIDS Memorial Grove, a place of renewal where we remember the
Oh my goodness, this lady.
A few moments later.
ones we lost. For decades, I've cherished the privilege of representing our magnificent city in the United States Congress. It seems prophetic now that the slogan of my very first campaign in 1987 was, "A voice that will be heard." And it was you who made those words come true. It was the faith that you had placed in me and the latitude that you have given me that enabled me to shatter the marble ceiling and be the first woman Speaker of the House, whose voice would certainly be heard. It was an historic moment for our country, and it was momentous for our community, empowering me to bring home billions of dollars for our city and our state. With these resources, we have powered enormous progress. For healthcare, from the fight against HIV/AIDS to the Affordable Care Act. For transportation,
The Non-Affordable Care Act. Yeah.
extending BART, electrifying Caltrain, creating the 3rd Street Light Rail, and the Central Subway, and strengthening our iconic Golden Gate Bridge, all creating good-paying jobs. For housing, enabling nonprofits
Oh my
to build
goodness. Bruh.
Why are you gay? Affordable, low-income, community-based housing with the low-income housing tax credit.
What's up, Bob, up there in Canada? Good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat.
For the environment, from protecting clean air and water, to taking action on climate, to transforming the Presidio from a military post to a national park, a model for the nation. Of course, credit for this work also goes to our brothers and sisters in labor, and it was also made possible by the entrepreneurial spirit of our private and nonprofit sectors. We can be proud of what we have accomplished, but there's always much more work to be done. Of course, San Francisco's impact is not confined to our city limits. The Affordable Care Act, Wall Street reform, human rights abroad, and so many other priorities all sprang from the vision, values, and voices of San Franciscans. Because of your trust, I was able to represent our city and our country around the world with patriotism and pride. I say to my colleagues in the House all the time, no matter what title they have bestowed upon me, Speaker, Leader, Whip, there has been no greater honor for me.
This shit is so whack, bro.
Than to stand on the House floor and say, I speak for the people of San Francisco.
Thank God for nobody else, huh? Yeah, but that fucking didn't end up happening.
Truly loved serving as your voice in Congress, and I've always honored the song of St. Francis. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace, the anthem of our city. That is why I want you, my fellow San Franciscans, to be the first to know. I will not be seeking re-election to Congress. With a grateful heart, I look forward to my final year of service as your proud representative. As we go forward, my message to the city I love is this. San Francisco, know your power. We have made history. We have made progress.
Yes, unapologetic American. That's the city that she used for her political career, absolutely, and got herself into where she is. Yeah.
Have always led the way, and now we must continue to do so by remaining full participants in our democracy and fighting for the American ideals we hold.
Yeah, trying to bring fucking Antifa and shit all
here. In doing so, we ensure that our city
Antifa and gay pride parades and shit. It's weird.
Shines on as a beacon of hope, justice, and peace for the country and for generations to come. After all, San Francisco is the greatest city on earth with the most extraordinary people on earth, and a place that I will always believe is heaven on earth. Thank you, San Francisco, for trusting me to be your voice in Congress.
This shit was such cap.
Stop the cap.
And it actually gave me some damage.
Emotional damage.
That was hard to listen to. All right, let's go ahead and see if Trump is live yet. No, he's not. Still not out for what he's supposed to be doing. Shit. Let me see if there's any update on this side of the equation. Give me a sec. I will see if there's any updates. There is an update, actually. We'll get a little bit of it. We're not going to play the whole thing, but we will play a little bit of it. All right, we have GOP update here. Let's go ahead and bring this up.
Well, good morning, everyone.
Why are you so extra loud this fucking morning?
Joining us this morning for the latest updates, we have some members of the Republican Governance Group, one of our most active caucuses in the Republican side. These are folks among our friends and colleagues, the most productive, most dedicated, most effective members because they are people who work every day on solutions for the greatest challenges facing our country. And Carlos Jimenez is with us, and Blake Moore, and Julie Fedorchik, and Gabe Evans. Beth Van Dyne may be joining us. I think she had a flight delay. But they've been out in their districts
I appreciate that, brother Steve Easy.
Working very hard to help their constituents navigate through the chaos that's been created by the Democrat shutdown. And if you're keeping count, this is day 37. 37. It seems unbelievable to us that we've gone this long. It is officially and shamefully the longest shutdown in U.S. history. Republicans feel very helpless about the situation because, as we've noted, there is really nothing for us to negotiate.
Yeah, no kidding, Miss Lotus. Who's working? I'm sorry. Yeah, these guys don't have to do anything but get up here and speak daily. You know what I mean?
We sent them a clean CR As you know, back in September 19th, we
And weekends off, by the way.
passed it out of the House. It feels like a lifetime ago. But that was a nonpartisan measure. It was 24 pages in length. It has no Republican.
That's awesome to hear, Hardwired. That's where it starts. You know what I mean? Is getting the fire underneath your own ass, and where to start, right? And where better than local. That's where you can make a difference, where you live, right? So that's awesome. Just start going to those meetings and these, anything that you can get invited to, take advantage of those opportunities. And it's based all on a network. That's how this whole political game is played, is just by knowing certain people,
Priorities on it at all. It was merely the status quo to keep the lights on so that the members of Congress and the Republican and Democrat Party could work together to finish the government funding appropriations process. And the Democrats tried to turn that into a game. Now, we're gonna give you the latest updates on that and where we think this is headed. But I just first want to address in a bit more detail the current state of our politics. It has been very interesting to us to see all the pundits trying to spin the results of the election on Tuesday. I just want to point out some simple facts here, and as usual, I try to be concise and give you the highlights here, but there's some things that we really need to point out. First, there were no surprises on Tuesday night, okay? You had blue states and blue cities that voted blue, to the alarm of no one, to the surprise of no one. That was what was expected. It just so happened that New York and New Jersey and Virginia were the states that were in the national spotlight on Tuesday. If the tables had been turned and if the calendar had been different and you had 3 red states, we'd have an entirely different narrative that you all would be writing about. Don't lose the simple facts. Second, the big headline that everyone is writing about appropriately is that the future of the Democrats was set in New York City. A 34-year-old Marxist is now the leader of the Democratic Party, and it is a very dangerous road for them to go down.
I very much agree. New York City is fucked. They are. It was already fucked, but now they just sealed the coffin.
I want to say this because a lot's been said about the Mamdani campaign. It is very easy to run and win as a socialist, right? All you do is promise everything to everyone for free. What a great message that is. Boy, that really resonates for people who don't study history. And while you're making all those promises, you hope that they never realize the trap that you're actually setting, the impossibility of fulfilling your fantastical claims and dreams, and the extreme danger and chaos that would result if you ever could. When you run as a socialist, you have to hope that they never understand that this will lead to the inevitable loss of their freedom, their opportunity, and their security, the loss of meritocracy and fairness in society, the loss of colorblindness, and the loss of emphasis on character, and the morality and the personal incentive and the common sense that we rely upon to keep a republic in operation. If you run as a socialist, you run on a big list of false claims. You promise everything to everyone and you can't deliver, and if you were ever able to deliver, it would be to the great detriment of the very people that you...
Which, I mean, Mamdani absolutely did lie during his campaign. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. There's no way he's going to do all that. There's no way.
...lured in to vote for you. Third fact about the election on Tuesday night is that the Democrats, and you all are not writing about this, and you should be, you're not writing enough about it. The Democrats have now set themselves on a collision course in their own tent. If you look at Spanberger in Virginia and Sherrill in New Jersey, they tried to run as moderate pragmatists. That's how they self-described. But they will be no match for the coming communist wave taking over their party right now. The energy is on the side of the Marxists. Look no further than the top 2 Democrats here in Congress. We've noted this here every day. They had to bend the knee to the socialists. Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer are both from New York. The top Democrat leader in the House and the top Democrat leader in the Senate, they couldn't get around that. And so Hakeem had to ultimately embrace it. He had to give the full blessing to Mamdani and his agenda. And he co-owns it. And Chuck Schumer flirted with it. He pandered all along. He flirted with that open endorsement till the better end, even though Mamdani is an activist against Israel and an anti-Semite. Chuck Schumer is the highest-ranked Jewish official in America, and
now one thing he will absolutely get past. One of the promises that he has is he's going to put any Islamia, like, all this, how there's anti-Semitic, well, now anti-Islamic rhetoric and all this shit that people can get fucking charged up and fucking hemmed up and for saying fuck these people. That's fucking crazy. And it shouldn't be like that with anti-Semitism either. You know what I mean?
Even he couldn't bring himself to disclaim that. And as we've noted here every day, the sole reason
What's up, Jack? Good morning.
For the entire federal government being shut down now, the sole reason for all the American people suffering all this pain and hardship is because of the fear of political retribution from the far left activists who run the Democrat Party. That is the motivation for the shutdown. It's never been about any policy issue at all. It was only so that they could show a fight and try to show that they're tough to this rising far left activist base in the party. The old guard has been repudiated, and the radicals are taking over the Democratic Party. We have evidence now every day. Yesterday, Jared Golden announced he would not be running for re-election in the state of Maine. He's a moderate, and he has no place in his party anymore. And then this morning, you saw the headline.
Moderate. Moderate in today's climate? There ain't no moderate.
Former Speaker Nancy Pelosi has now announced her retirement this morning. That is a very important sign that I hope that you all will delve into. Even the famous San Francisco liberal is not far left enough for the neo-Marxists. We commend her for her services. We all do, everyone who serves in Congress, but there should be a lot written about that. Fourth point I just want to make in the aftermath of Tuesday is that off-year election results in isolated places are never indicative of the upcoming midterm election. Don't read too much into that. You shouldn't. If you do, you're going to miss it. The GOP is in excellent position to win big next year. And when I say I'm bullish about the midterms, we absolutely are, and there's a lot of reasons for that. This is not groundless optimism. It's based on facts. The reason we're in such a great position is because we are...
What's up, David? Good morning to you. Happy Thursday. Great to see you.
...united. And while the Democrats engage in their emerging civil war, Republicans are going to continue to work and deliver for all the new voters that we brought into the party last fall in 2024. There was a true demographic shift in that election, as you know. Record number of Hispanic and Latino voters, Black and African American voters, Jewish voters, union workers, urban voters, young people. And while they say that there's this big swell of enthusiasm of young people based on what happened in New York City Tuesday night, I would give to you Exhibit A on our side. Maybe you're not noticing, but the turning point events at college campuses all around the country are setting records for attendance. You have hundreds of thousands of new young people weekly coming into the movement that are enthusiastic, young conservatives who are looking for truth, who believe in America's founding principles, and who want to be engaged. And they will be engaged in next year's midterms. The third reason is we got a very favorable map. You shouldn't miss this either. I was very bullish even before the current redistricting battles began. As we sit here today, there are 13 House Democrats sitting in districts that President Trump won. There's another 21 of them in districts he came within 5 points of winning. There's only three, conversely, there's only 3 House Republicans sitting in districts that Kamala Harris won. That's a lopsided map. And after redistricting, we think we'll net a few more seats, handful, maybe 6 to 8. We're in very good position to make history and grow this majority. And finally, I'll just leave you with this. The reason we're so enthusiastic about running next year is we have a real record to run on.
That's true.
Mondami and Democrats want to talk about affordability. We love that subject. We love it. Look at the facts. I brought some this morning. It's the Republicans who are working every day to make life more affordable for working families. And it's not a talking point for us. We are delivering. After 4 long years of skyrocketing prices under the Biden administration, we had to
wrap it up, homie.
Take over. You don't flip a switch and reverse that overnight. It takes a while to work those policies out of the system and to get the new ones in. President Trump and Republicans are delivering results for the American people that they can see and feel. To date, we've seen core inflation is nearing its lowest level in 4 years. Gas prices have fallen to a 4-year low. Prices for everyday goods continue to decline, and blue-collar workers are seeing the largest...
Not really. I mean, there are some things that are coming down, but everything is up. You know what I mean? Everything is very expensive. And you can't sit there and say, oh, yeah, it's getting better when it's not. It's not. It's not getting incredibly worse. I mean, there are some things such as gas, but that's like that shit is kind of out of our control. The government doesn't really control that.
Increase in wage growth in nearly 6 decades. That's the result of our policies. In Congress, House Republicans are working hand in hand with President Trump to advance his affordability agenda. It is President Trump who ran on that. It's President Trump who's delivering on that. And we are all partners in that new effort to make America great again. It begins with the economy, and we know that. We're laser focused on making a difference in the lives of hardworking American families. Here's another demonstration.
Yeah, she blinks a lot, by the way. Just an observation.
The Working Families Tax Cut. It is aptly
She just
named.
stares at the camera.
It's the largest tax cut in U.S. history for working and middle-class Americans. You got Bernie Sanders running around. They talking about the billionaires. It's not this. That's the opposite of the truth. Look at the facts. That bill was written for lower and middle-class earners, and they are the ones that will feel the positive effects going into next year. We included in that, as you know, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, real tax relief for seniors.
Yes, and a lot of these things are fantastic, but what our qualms with the Big Beautiful Bill has nothing to do with that legislation. It's your funding bill that you mixed. You mixed all of this awesome legislation shit that could be really beneficial for Americans, but then you've got to have the biggest spending bill be like intertwined with this. Yeah, it was fucked up, bro.
These are the kinds of things that people feel, and they see that we're making good on our promises. We've made historic investments in American energy dominance to drive down the cost of gasoline and groceries. And we're grounding every decision we make in common sense. That's what we restored. That's what we ran on. That's what we're delivering. A return to common sense, not the woke progressive nonsense that they delivered for 4 years, not the spending like drunken sailors that drove cost up for everything with inflation.
Yeah, that's true, but you guys just did the same thing with your spending bill. So, I mean, you're both equally fucked in that regard. You both spend like motherfuckers.
We're restoring common sense, fiscal responsibility.
But our side copes and says, well, this is for our shit that we need funded, and all of our people and our stuff and what we believe in is more righteous and what you're funding your shit for.
We're good stewards of taxpayer dollars, and we're refusing to cave right now today to the Democrats' wild demand to spend $1.5 trillion in new spending. That is taxpayer dollars. That's your money that they want to spend to reopen the government. That's their counterproposal. That's why we're not having a negotiation with them. It's ridiculous. Included in the $1.5 trillion that they want to spend is $200 billion, almost $200 billion to restore health care benefits to illegal aliens. That is taxpayer money that they want to spend for that. They want to send billions of dollars back overseas for social programs in foreign countries. We're not doing that. They want to.
Yeah, they should just give us some pesos, huh? Because that's what we bought. That's what we bought from Argentina. Was we bought out their currency. We bought their peso.
Give $500 million back to the Corporation for Public Broadcasting to prop up left-leaning news organizations. We're not doing that. And by the way, in the middle of all this, they want to cut $50 billion from the Rural Hospital Fund. They can't tell you they care about health care since they put that in their proposal. We're grounding every decision in common sense. And Democrats had their chance. When they controlled Washington, look at the history. Don't forget it. This was just a year ago. You know what we inherited? They left us with a 40-year high inflation, higher taxes and energy prices.
Man, we know we know that. Yeah, that was a terrible time, but stop referring to the fucking past, honestly, bro. Like we need to focus on going forward. Fuck the past. We all know Biden sucked. We all get it. Cool. Let's move on. Let's figure this shit out, you know. I can't control that shit, but I can control my next move, right? So, anyways. Listen, I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough. I can't do this very show without you guys. I'm very honored to be able to do this Monday through Friday and the members only Saturday morning, as you guys know. Listen, stick around for the raid. We're going to be sending you guys off to our buddy Rob Knorr. He's live right now. And let him know we're coming through with the Mike Ball raid. You know what I mean? He's a great political commentator as well. And make sure you guys hit the like button on the way out. It definitely helps out the show immensely. So, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, much love, honor, respect, everybody. And God bless everyone. We'll see you guys very soon.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart steel and a spirit unbroken, he rides on to wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his stand, refusing to submit.